got a headache. Now I've got some strange disease, don't worry about it. This pill will set your mind at ease. It's called Progenitorivox. It's made by Squab Merle Co. It's a life-enhancing miracle, but there are some things you should know. It may cause agitation, palpitations, excessive salivation, constipation, male lactation, rust-colored urination, hallucinations, bad vibrations, mild electric shock sensations, but it's worth it for the drugs I need. My disease may not be fatal, but I can ease my fears by taking two $12 pills each day for 50 years. They've spent billions to convince me, so now I realize Progenitorivox beats diet and exercise. I've got insurance, at least for now I do. And if I bought generic, it would cut my costs in two. But I want Progenitorivox, 'cause I saw it on TV. Those families look so functional, that Paisley pill's for me. But it may cause deprivation, humiliation, debtors, prison, and deportation. Dark predictions, dire predictions, life has seen in Dickens fiction. Empty pockets, court dockets, may cause eyes to pop from sockets. But it's worth it for the drugs I need. But it's worth it in Canada. They get this for a song. But it's worth it for the drugs I need.
The opinions expressed in this song are not necessarily those of Squab Merle Co. or its subsidiaries. Progenitorivox is not available anywhere. Off the board in Wisconsin. Any resemblance to actual drugs, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Any unauthorized use of your own judgment in the application of Progenitorivox is strictly prohibited. Progenitorivox may not be reproduced without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. Progenitorivox may cause drowsiness or restlessness in lab animals. Do not resume sexual activity while operating heavy machinery without consulting your physician. For erections lasting longer than 4 hours, insert your own joke here. If you experience psychotic episodes, you're crazy. If death occurs, discontinue use of Progenitorivox immediately. If symptoms persist, consult your physician. All sales final. Batteries not included.
For the drugs I need.
Now, this is a story of an amazingly beautiful young woman. She was training to be a pro football cheerleader, and she got a flu shot. She says that shot has destroyed her chances of happiness. We told you about her story last time. Now, Les Trent is with this woman for a first-hand look at what her life has become.
She's the beautiful cheerleader whose heartbreaking story is shocking the nation. 25-year-old Desiree Jennings showed me how she can't walk without twisting, jerky movements. But she walks backwards normally. Doctors say she has a rare 1 in a million neurological disorder that was triggered 10 days after she got a seasonal flu shot.
Started with me not being able to eat without passing out.
You couldn't eat without passing out. I visited Desiree and her husband Brendan at their home in Ashburn, Virginia, to see what their daily life is like. She has to go up and down stairs backwards because something as simple as walking forward can be dangerous. And here's the unusual part about the disorder. Take a look at this. Desiree can run just fine. It's only when she stops. You see, that's where the spasms start. Now you can walk backwards though, and it'll make it better, right?
Yeah.
She runs with a normal stride. And as I ran with her, she even spoke normally. And now you can talk.
Yeah, it's weird. It fixes as soon as I start running.
I mean, you sound
I know, it's great.
you sound amazing. And then you stop, and that's what happens. Desiree got a flu shot on August 23rd. 10 days later, she came down with what doctors have diagnosed as dystonia, a rare neurological disorder. Her jerking and twisting are the result of uncontrollable muscle contractions. There is no known cure.
Are y'all ready?
Yes.
This is home video of Desiree as a beautiful bride when she married Brendan 2 years ago. And this is a photo when she was training to be a cheerleader for the Washington Redskins. Doctors say what happened to Desiree should discourage people from getting flu shots. But here's what the woman who's on the wrong side of being 1 in a million says. Running has to be a relief.
No, thing I have left.
The only thing you have left.
Right. Welcome to the Army of Truth. This is Sean White, the General, and this is on prescriptions and the drug lords, or other words we could call as doctors, the pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that. I've seen so much of this going on in the past, and I'm just outraged. First off, like with my own health insurance, I did a thing back there in December about it, about how I felt raped. And also, today I go there to try to pick up my prescriptions, and they say that I'm no longer carried under a certain carrier that I have, and with something else, and that I would have to pay $400. And the thing is like, since my surgery and stuff 2 years ago, I never took medicine or anything like that, but now I've been on anti-depressants, and I've been on anxiety, and if you notice, I shake really bad and all of this stuff, and I've never had this before, of any type of problems. And I know other friends that I've been having issues with the prescription pharmaceutical, and and we're all being diagnosed with a lot of craziness and stuff. And this is going to be like part one, because this is really something to my heart about when it comes to cancer, to other things like that, because it's a scam. Yes, and you say, you're lying, it's lying. Well, let me tell you about cancer in the beginning. First off, how it was discovered. Did you know, if you research and find out in the 1800s that cancer was actually founded from the polio vaccine and stuff like that, over in England and everything like that. They were talking about, the doctors there were saying they were hearing about this new type of thing that was happening, of this disease that was coming, and the only thing they could find out was from the results of a polio vaccine. So I'm going to go really fast, because this is going to be just an overview. I want to be able to continue. I'm hoping, I said the Georgia Guidestones and stuff, but I'm really fed up with this, so I'm hoping I can get some interview, maybe with some doctors, some nurses and stuff like that, to find out what's really going on with the pharmacy and things like this. I mean, really think about it, all the money that they're really making here with pharmacy. I mean, they're making a killing. I mean, how much it is going on in the world, and how much doctors make, and all of this. And look, if you're a doctor and stuff, I'm not coming against you and stuff. I know how it works. I know the pharmaceutical companies come to you, they sell you the drugs and tell you to do this to get certain type of pay, and basically what you are now, a lot of doctors are, is, hey, just take this prescription here, take this, take that. I mean, I went to a psychiatrist, and within 3 minutes of talking to him, not even knowing my history, he even talked about my family and immediately said that my family were sociopaths or this and that, and told me everything, that I was I had disorders and all of this stuff like that. Whether it's true or not, who knows, but the thing is there is a scam going on here, and let's get started. I'm going to move this thing really fast. Some books you can pick up that you can find online at forum.prisonplanet.com. Some things that you can see, like right here I have what's called the Medical Mafia. Let me zoom down a little bit on this. This is by, I can't pronounce the name, can I buy a vowel? Ghislaine Lactant, and this takes on, let's see, goes on a lot of stuff about, well, it goes on a lot of these things here. I haven't read all of these books and stuff yet. The other one you can go, the 800 Million Pill, the truth behind the cost of new drugs. Explains and investigates a lot of this. Other ones, one I really, really highly recommend is called the, and I agree with it, the book will change forever the way you look at your child's education. This one's called Deliberate Dumbing Down of America by Charlotte Thompson Iserbyt. And let me just go to the table of contents. She goes on and talks about the late 18th and 19th centuries, the sowing of the seeds, the turning of the tides, troubling 30s. And it starts talking about how they dumb down America with the education, and pretty much forcing you what you need to follow and how to listen to the government and how you can be a better servant and all of that mess. So that is a great book. And another one that I found from 1996, The Emerging Viruses, AIDS, and Ebola, Nature, Accident, or Intentional. Yes, folks, AIDS did not come from a green monkey. It did not come from homosexuals. It did not come from any of those things. It was actually from vaccines that they shot up in people, and people started getting sick, and that is where AIDS came through. You might have heard about the bird flu, all of these things that have been going on. So anyway, let me get some videos going again. Find some other stuff. Let me see what we have here. This is going to really open the door to Big Pharma. This is an actual interview by someone that actually worked at Big Pharma. So here we go.
Olson today, author of Confessions. Talking with Gwen Olson today, author of Confessions of an RX Drug Pusher. Talk about your background a little bit, how you got to this and how the book got to be.
Well, I spent 15 years in the pharmaceutical industry. I went in 1985 and left in 2000 and worked for a number of the major manufacturers in the industry, such as Johnson & Johnson, Bristol Myers Squibb, Abbott Laboratories, and Syntex Laboratories. And during that time, I was a specialty rep for the vast majority of my career. So I had extensive training because I called on specialists and academians in medicine. And I called primarily on psychiatry, cardiology, endocrinology, and OBGYN throughout my career. So I sold a number of drugs, a number of different categories of drugs. And as I started to get further educated, I realized that the information that I was being given to disseminate to doctors wasn't fair balanced, that it wasn't, inclusive, all-inclusive of the good, the bad, and the ugly that they needed to know in order to make informed decisions about what they prescribed for their patients. So throughout my career, I, of course, changed employers several times because during the 90s there were downsizings and mergers and all that sort of thing. So for various reasons, I changed employers a couple of times and started to see that this was something that was rampant within the industry. It was not just exclusive to one particular manufacturer, that reps were being trained to misinform and disinform providers of health care. So I got very upset about that, and then after I had a couple of very serious adverse drug reactions from testing my own wares and taking the products that, doctors prescribed for me, I realized that what I was doing was contributing to harming Americans rather than helping the health of the country. And I quit and got out and had no intention whatsoever of being a whistleblower or writing a book or anything, because basically when you become a whistleblower, you lose all of your benefits, because we sign as reps, pharmaceutical reps, we sign confidentiality agreements, and so we're not allowed to really talk about the inside workings and controversy about the industry, or you forfeit all of your benefits. Well, I had a niece who was 20 years old, and she was attending Indiana University. She got into a car accident, and they prescribed Vicodin for her, hydrocodone, for pain. And she became addicted to the hydrocodone and had difficulty studying because she was a pre-med student at Indiana University, and she was trying to study for her exams. So she went to a local health food store and bought some ephedra, a stimulant to take to try to counteract the sedative effects of her painkillers. And when she took the drugs concomitantly, she became manic psychotic. And she was labeled as having bipolar illness, and they did not identify that she had a drug toxicity reaction. And so she started her journey of being a mental patient and being on psychiatric drugs. And for a period of a couple of years, she was off and on of a number of different drugs. She was on a cocktail of about 13 different drugs at one period in time. And she decided that the drugs were making her more ill and causing her more symptoms. So she